begins 9 to noon with Parker Fox in studio at Parker Fox 24 via the X Machine. And Parker, what is it? Less than 2 weeks now? You're playing hoops, right?
Yeah,
Hardwood kicks off?
Yeah, it kicks off. We have our last exhibition game actually tomorrow, and then first regular season game is right around the corner next Wednesday. I think that is November 6th. So,
Indeed.
Home at Williams Arena. So super juiced up and excited to be back in the barn live in front of a crowd. So it's an exciting time.
How was your Saturday? It's homecoming weekend on campus. Mm-hmm. Brosmer and company. We had Coy Parrish in studio. They dropped 50 on the Terps. And then you have Julius Randle, who we were ready to write off after the Lakers game, but Saturday Night Lights against the Raptors, and they drop an L on Toronto. That's a nice little Saturday with homecoming and the howl and all of that.
Yeah, it was. Hit both events too. Did a little tailgating with Baldy. Had some barbecue pregame to the football game. Hit the football game. They looked excellent. So
who's Baldy?
He owns a litlittle barbecue spot down in Lakeville. So he fed the team and got us some good pulled pork and all that fun stuff. And then really? We hit about half of the football game. Felt confident at about halftime. I don't know. I think it was 28-3 or something like that. We were just whooping up on the Turtles out there from Maryland, but felt confident there. So left Huntington Bank Stadium and headed to Target Center to watch the Wolves beat up on the Raptors. So yeah, pretty successful Saturday when you win 2 games that you're at. So can't go wrong there.
You have a brother.
I do.
Who plays basketball at the Citadel.
Correct.
The Citadel, you say?
The Citadel.
So what's the age difference here?
He is 3 years younger than me. So,
Okay.
and he's in his last year of eligibility as well. So funny how that kind of, that turns with the 2 injuries. But yeah, he's a grad student, transferred to the Citadel.
Yeah.
Mom and grandma are down there, visiting him right now for his, first scrimmage, which they won, I think, by about 15. I think he had about 25 points. So
Dumb question.
Great start.
Where is the Citadel?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful spot.
Is that by Myrtle Beach?
I think it's by Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's by Myrtle Beach. But yeah, he's got a great spot. He's gets out to the beach, probably 3-4 times a week, and it's a flip from the Minnesota Falls here. So he's loving it and thriving really well somewhere else. So.
What's my man's name again?
Brody.
Okay, so if Brody and Parker play one-on-one, who wins and why?
Oof.
Brody and Parker, though.
Man, I don't know. A couple years ago, I would say it's not a question, but now I gotta be real. And he's gotten really talented. I still think the older guy, the wily vet, takes him, gets into the low block, uses a couple pump fakes, just like yours truly would. But no, I think he's a really good player. So I think it'd be fun to get back into that if I could be healthy enough for it.
Do you ever happen to run into Coy Parrish in the super special, super exclusive, athletes only cafeteria?
Yeah, I've seen him in there a couple of times. Saw him downstairs as well. So we talked for a bit. But what a kid he is, man. He's obviously a special talent on the field. What we've seen already from him, but just kind of his presence, his confidence, his aura, as the kids like to say these days, just kind of exudes that of what you want on your football team and what you want, as a part of your university. So, really looking forward to what his career will look like because it's off to a hot start.
Well, we kids aside, kids / old people, kids, but we've always said so-and-so has aura or that has aura. Actually, the kids say so-and-so has drip.
Oh, yeah. That's what he said on the show.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big drip guy. You're a swag guy. I mean, that's right? That's what the kids say.
Yeah, the kids are talking about drip. Yeah, who was he saying? It was Brian Dawkins' drip?
Oh, yes. Yes.
He had it going on.
When I watch Coy, or when I watch stuff back, it's like Puka Nacua this last Thursday at SoFi. I'd never seen Puka in person. Mm-hmm. Let's see, I think it was 2018 or 2019, first time we were at Arrowhead, and first time, now Mahomes didn't play this game. I think it was Matt Moore terrorism and we lost. Yeah. But Patrick was there warming up, and I was like 15 feet from him. I'd never seen him in person. I'm like, damn. Same thing with Coy. Like when you watch Coy play, he's so easy to find on the field because he's a taller kind of guy with long strides. He's really fun to watch.
Yeah, he is. And we were talking about, I was sitting with Chris Ottman-Bell at the football game, and we were just talking about the impact he's made over the past couple games. And you're right. It's like every time you look out on the field, it's like, yeah, you see all the different people, but it's like, there's Coy Parrish.
Right.
He's just kind of got that, that it factor to him. So like I said, I think he's going to be a special one.
Yeah, Puka Nacua was the same way.
Yeah.
Like when I saw him on the sideline when he ran out of the tunnel before I went upstairs.
Dominated us.
I had no idea he was that tall. I mean, I knew he was thicker, and we've seen the hair, and he strides, and he's got big, long strides, but he just has that, as you would say, the kids would say, that aura about him. Likewise for this football team now. Big one at Champaign, ranked team, just got killed by Oregon. What do you think about this squad? Winners of 3 in a row. PJ has this thing humming a little bit there, P-Box.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun football team to watch, too. It's, I think Gopher fans of the past kind of expect that, first down run, second down run, slant on third down, something like that. And now it's like, they trust Brosmer in that pocket. Obviously, he threw the ball 33 times last game, completed 26 of them, just looked really confident back there. And then you have that kind of that 1-2 punch with arguably one of the best running backs in college football, and Darius Taylor, 15 attempts, 81 yards and a touchdown. And he's catching the ball to the backfield too. 5 targets, 5 receptions. So, just really like what they're doing offensively. And then, their defense is really showing up over the past couple weeks. I think, Cody Lindenberg's kind of that middle, presence for them. He holds it down almost like a Blake Cashman who was at the game. I got to see Blake Cashman there on the sideline.
You didn't step on his toe, did you?
I didn't step on his toe. No,
Bro, if you stepped on that toe and cost him another 3 games, I mean, I can name 15 people who'd want to go gangster on you.
I can't do it anymore without Blake out there. You need him back. But no, this Gopher secondary as well. They they're special. Obviously headed up by safety Coy Parrish, but Justin Wally over there at cornerback. They're doing some really great things. And I think what an awesome opportunity to go to Illinois, a top 25 team that's truly a beatable team. You got a great opportunity to go into Champaign and steal a win from Illinois.
Ain't no doubt. When's your squad play again?
We play tomorrow. Yeah, last exhibition game tomorrow, and then we kick it all off. Williams Arena.
What time?
I think 7 p.m. tomorrow night.
Gophersports.com?
Yeah, I'm sure Grimm's got it on the radio, right? The old Grimster. But it's going to be a fun one. Got an awesome opportunity to kind of, just sure some more things up before the regular season starts. You know how it is. It's the preseason like the Vikes had. It's that first kind of that game that you just gotta find ways to figure out how you guys want to play together. 7-8 new guys. It takes some time. So I think awesome opportunity for us. And then regular season will start November 6th.
Is there anything excuse me. All right, 3-2. Of course, you're always working on new things or working on perfecting what you do well and making it even better. But like new things to the game.
Yeah.
Like anything new to your game?
I think for me, just being able to consistently be a presence from the outside. Obviously, I played a lot of 5 last year. We brought some 5s in, so I think I'm going to be playing still a little bit of 5 this year, but a little bit more 4, just being on the perimeter a little bit better, and just being able to consistently knock down that one more, that open shot. And as you know, what that does is that makes the defense come out more, and it makes them come guard you versus stopping short. Now you can attack and you can look for others, or you can attack and get to the rim. So just kind of, just being able to trust that. And then for me, coming off of the back-to-back injuries last year, just being able to kind of play free. Realize this is my last year. Don't have 2 ACL injuries nagging me down and feeling the weight of those, and just feeling confident and going out there and having fun. Just an awesome opportunity for an old guy like me to be back in Williams Arena and do it in front of my family and friends. So really excited about what this year has in store.
When you have the ACL injuries or Achilles or these major things, you can't obviously practice when you're practicing hard or games. You can't think about it. I mean, it's not on your mind ever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little bit last year.
Yeah.
But now it's not. Now it's, it's because you can't play that way. If you play that way, you're selling yourself. Yeah, you're selling yourself short. You're scared. You're shortchanging everything. Even talking to Coach Johnson about my first couple games back from the injury, like he could tell I was kind of short stepping things and didn't feel as confident as I clearly wanted to feel. And it's like you put in so much time and effort, not only physically in your recovery, but mentally in your recovery with sports psych and with therapy and all that kind of stuff. And it's like you want to feel like yourself again. You want to be able to go out there and play free. So I think just an awesome opportunity for another year for me to get to do it again. And these injuries are wild, man. It's crazy how much it takes out of you. But when you get that chance to get back out there, I'm telling you, there's no greater feeling. So I'm blessed for sure.
Well, the rehab is awful, right?
Oh, it's brutal, man.
I mean, it's I've mentioned this before because I heard Pete Bursich, the analyst on the Vikings radio network. I think you know him a little bit. Yeah. Well, there would be some games at the ends of years involving, I don't know, the Bears, whomever, and it's like a team like where the Vikings were going to go to the playoffs. So you have ancillary type guys playing. Mm-hmm. But for whatever the reason, the coach for the team in there decides, I'm going to play my best guys. Yeah. So like it was, I can't remember the year, but it was like Khalil Mack was out there for a Bears team that had zero chance of making the Eddie Goldman, Eddie Jackson, these big name players and everything. So then you would watch a play, then you'd see the replay. And like certain players wouldn't completely go full out on making the tackle or doing what it takes to win that play. And then Bursich is like, well, that's a business decision. Yeah. What do you mean? He goes, well, the last thing these players want to do, knowing that they are an hour of real lifetime and like a quarter and a half to head into the offseason, the last thing they want to do is rehab the entire offseason. So these are business decisions, Yeah,
no, you're right. And now it's kind of that thing in NIL space now in college sports where it's it's the same kind of aspect. And and ultimately your best ability is availability. If you're healthy and if you're able to play, there's no greater ability than that. So you know how it gets throughout the season. You're never as healthy as you are the first game. Every game you're going to get a little less healthy. You're going to have another bump and bruise, and that could be an individual or that can be a team. You look at the Vikings, we lose Chris Darrisaw. We've lost Blake Cashman the past 2 games. Each game is you dwindle that injury report kind of starts to stack up, and the less guys you can have on there, the more success you can have with your team. So you gotta figure out a way to stay healthy.
I don't know what Mike Grimm is doing this Sunday night for Sunday Night Football at 7:15. Yeah. I'm pondering not calling the game after going to @ParkerFox24 because I'm like, why should I? I mean, I see this tweet from Surrogate Kid and somebody I super well respect, and he's just hating on his Vikings right now after tweeting the season is toast without Darrisaw. Come on, man. They're 5-2.
Oh, PA, man, I think Chris is such a key piece to what we want to do, and I hope Questenberry can.
Of course he is.
Hope Questenberry can fill that void. I think he looked good in his time when he was out there, but just kind of getting to know Chris a little bit and just watching him.
Well, you know him well enough you're calling him Chris.
Yeah, I mean, just a huge fan of his game. Met him a couple times and all that, and just like as a Vikings fan, I watch a lot of guys, but big Chris Darrisaw is a guy that I like to key on. And just watch him go about his craft, and I think he's about as good as it gets in that National Football League.
When you go to Wolves games and you run into somebody, do you call him Tony Edwards?
I always love it.
How well you know him?
Tony would be crazy. That would be a crazy move.
Tony, what's going on, man?
What up, Tones?
Hey, nice job on that crossover there, ma'am. Okay, well, so you are willing to concede, which athletes, Division I or pro athletes generally are not real comfortable doing, conceding. You're willing to concede that the complete Matamidi-related Vikings fan rubidity is coming out right now, where you're like, you are being what you said they were toast.
Okay.
Toast means like not winning games, not going to the playoffs.
Crispy golden brown toast too, with some butter, and you can do some excellent things.
Well played.
You tweet some things.
Yeah, emotional Vikings fan.
I sit by meat sauce every Thursday morning, so that kind of rubs off on you. But it's emotions. It stinks. Lost a key piece, but somebody else got to step up. Next man mentality.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. So, who we got next week? Colts.
Yeah.
Home.
Yeah. Sunday Night Football.
Win that football game.
Well, yeah, it's with all due respect to the Colts, because they're all tough. When you are in that bloodbath they were in against the Lions, short week, travel. Well, funny, McVay on the night against O'Connell. Funny, That's the night Cup and Nakua return.
Yeah, weird how that works.
Yeah, because you don't want to lose to your former student. But that's okay. Vikings had myriad opportunities to win the game. It's when I say this is a drop in class. I'm a horse racing guy. It's like, from a grade 1 stakes event against Ben Johnson at Motor City Downs.
Yeah.
Well, those creatures there run a little faster and a little more professionally than some other of these teams in the National Football League. And, hey, the Colts have DeForest Buckner. They have Michael Pittman. They have this Josh Downs is good. They got a tight end that they like. Jonathan Taylor, so on, DeForest Buckner, so on and so on. So they have good players. And they play in super tightly contested games. They're never out of it, but they're not getting over the hump enough. But this is from the Lions offense to Stafford, Kupp, Nakua, and Kyron Williams.
Yeah.
Emphasis on Stafford. Oof. This is a drop in class. You're at home. You're on a 2-game losing streak, with or without Cashman, with or without Hawkinson. This one has to be won.
No, it has to be. And we talked about that a couple weeks ago now. It's like you go and play, you come off the bye, you're 5-0, and you play a really good Lions team. Jared Goff is playing excellent football right now as well.
He's MVP type guy.
Yeah, he definitely is. And it's like you're right there, a couple little plays, you get that 2-point conversion maybe, and then quick turnaround Thursday night in LA against McVay. A lot of weapons on that team, and you looked excellent the first 2 possessions. Almost looked like you kind of had your script set for you. You're going to roll this whole game, and then things start getting a little tougher, and the 4-yard runs turn into 2-yard runs, and so far and so forth. But now it's like, how can you regroup? How can you do you get Cashman healthy? Is he healthy and ready to back, or what's your response?
You see him more than me. You were just in a football game with him trying to step on his toe.
He looked great walking around Hutchins Bank Stadium. So that turf toe is a son of a gun. But it's just you got to bounce back. You got to find a way to bounce back. You got to find
with
whatever.
That class drop.
Yeah, for sure. You got to. And I think if you don't, it becomes a dangerous, we like to call it domino effect in our team. You got to find ways to kind of stop that domino from falling over, especially when it's a team you're capable of beating on a Sunday night game.
In closing here, help me with the how. Help me with the Timberwolves.
Oh, I love to how.
Yeah, me too. But, here's like Minnesota sports fans were living their best lives without me Thursday when I'm on a bus mashing Uncrustables to emotionally eat because of the L. And like spine tingler against Sacramento, they get the money. Mm-hmm. Then they beat Toronto. Game was kind of close late, and they the better team won. Yeah. So either with the influx of Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo fitting in, and Howe, and the demise of Mike Conley also has been greatly exaggerated off those two. I couldn't believe what I was seeing his first game with Mike Conley.
I know.
He was out to lunch. Yeah. I mean, it takes old guys a little while to get going sometimes, but he's starting to roll a little bit. What you seeing in the how?
Yeah, I think they're kind of figuring out what they want to do lineup wise, and there's guys on this bench that we kind of expected to see that we haven't seen yet. Whether that be a Rob Dillingham, whether that be a possible Terrence Shannon Jr., whether that be a couple minutes from Luka Garza in the 5 spot, which we haven't seen them, any 3 of those guys get any minutes yet. But I think they're kind of wrapping their heads around what they want to do. They're coming in with that starting lineup, and then it's Dante DiVincenzo off the bench, taking over Mike Conley's spot. And then after that, it's bringing in a 6-man of the year, Naz Reid, and then finishing up that kind of lineup with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So it takes time. It's a new roster, but Julius Randle has looked really, really good these last 2 games. Anthony Edwards said it himself. He said, if we get the true version of Julius Randle, we could be a really dangerous team. So, good 2 wins last 2 nights, but tomorrow you got the team that knocked you out of the Western Conference Finals in the Dallas Mavericks, and then you back that up on Friday with the Denver Nuggets, who we know has the best player in the world. So, just a great opportunity. 2 games at home. Hopefully, Wolves fans show up, and looking forward to this Wolves team getting some good competition.
Nuggets are a bit stuck right now.
They are.
Their bench.
They are.
Yeah, their bench. Reggie Jackson's no longer there. I mean, Christian Braun's taking a step, but he's starting. Mm-hmm. So he used to be like firepower, or like pop off the bench guy. Now that I think about it, you and Julius Randle play the same position.
Yeah.
Well, which is sweet because like when you watch his game and like where he sets up, and like what they do off of it. Now, I mean, with all due respect to you, all we do is joke around here, but I ain't joking here. It's Julius Randle off the pick and roll with his ball handling skills. I'm sure you can do it. But for him at that size, it's really a gift.
Yeah.
Have you seen much of it?
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah. And not only a gift for himself, but a gift for others because you got to find a way to respect the 4-5 ball screen. I think is one of the toughest things to guard in basketball.
Hey, man.
Because you either have to switch it. And now you're switching Jakob Poeltl or Nikola Jokic or one of these bigger fives onto a Julius Randle that can handle it and move at a high pace. So that's trouble. You can't do that. So now you have to hedge it. And now Rudy Gobert is going for lobs. And if it's not a lob, the help side defender's helping in, and it's a kick out to a wide open Anthony Edwards. How do you guard that? It's unguardable. So I look to see that more of that 4-5 ball screen with Julius and Rudy. I think Chris Finch is going to kind of dive in on that.
The one tomorrow night, assuming Doncic and Kyrie play. It's the NBA, man. I mean, it's sooner or later. Yeah, Kyrie might be gone for a game. Then Luka they rest them because they have a grander goal than a Tuesday night in the cornfields. But assuming it's Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, this will take us back to the right when the Timberwolves made this trade, sending Cat and getting Julius and DiVincenzo. I'll never forget one of the first things you said to me because it didn't hit me quick twitch is, okay, with DiVincenzo and Edwards or DiVincenzo and McDaniels or whomever, they're better equipped to guard these monsters on the perimeter. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a regular season game and it's a Tuesday. Okay. And, so it's take that for what it's worth. But this is step number one of what that potentially could look like.
100% is. And we watched Anthony Edwards try to guard Kyrie/Luka for 6 games and just the fatigue it took out of him. You're never going to stop Luka Doncic. He has 40 points and 10 assists last game against the Suns. You're never going to stop him. But can you throw multiple bodies at him? Can you throw Dante at him? Can you throw Nickeil Alexander-Walker at him? Can you throw Anthony Edwards at him? Can you throw different bodies to stay fresh and healthy? So I think that the addition of Dante DiVincenzo just defensively, we talked about his grit, his toughness, and he's shooting the ball at a high level too. So just an awesome opportunity. And that Dallas team, they got better. They added a Najee Marshall, kid out of Xavier, been in the league.
Well,
they
got Klay
years.
Thompson. Yeah,
they got Klay. Maxi Kleba's healthy, so they got a lot of weapons, and I think it'll be a really good game. Hopefully, those two play. You want to see the stars play, right?
Correct.
So hopefully, those two play, and it'll be a really good game.
You, my friend, are terrific. Thanks for stopping by. If you happen to be at the Purple game on Sunday night, stop by and say hello in the Box. And we'll talk soon, all right?
Love you, man.
Love you, too. Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 via the tweet machine. Pressure Points around the corner. But first.
The Fan, along with 2 men in a junk truck, they want to give you a chance to put $1,000 in your hand with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword cash. You might win $1,000 with the keyword cash at KFAN.com.
Fan.
Here they come. It's time for Pressure Points. Pressure Points, courtesy of 9 to noon. And also Sukup Manufacturing. Visit sukup.com today. SUKOP. Excuse me. All right, 3-2. Visit sukup.com today. Helping farmers fuel and feed the world. Pressure Points. We got a song to go with that?
Yeah, of course we do.
Pressure Points.
Thank you, Sukup Manufacturing.
Pressure all over the National Football League, the NBA, the world, 9 to noon, the whole thing. Pressure's all over the place. But it is firmly placed on this guy.
One snap for the Colts, 1 second left. Texans up 3, trying to hang on. Richardson out of the gun. Here's the snap. He steps to his left. Richardson in trouble. And Richardson's going to be sacked. Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter get him. The ball comes out. There's a scrum for it. Everybody's still chasing it. And Will ends up with it. Game over. Houston wins.
That's Mark Vandermeer from the vast and ever-expanding Houston Texans radio network. Shorty here, pressure. There's a point of pressure, courtesy of Sue Cup Manufacturing, that not only heads to Brian Flores, defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, with or without Blake Cashman, because of the expectations off the 5-0 and the way some things visibly, even to the non-learned, have fallen apart at certain times during games. So that's pressure point number one to the Minnesota Vikings defense to serve its fans with something that I would imagine most defensive players would say, yeah, I and we are capable of this. Secondly, you hear the Anthony Richardson highlight. This from ESPN.com. Richardson was on the sideline during yesterday's game against the Texans, not because he was hurt, but rather because he was exhausted. The second-year quarterback exited the game after scrambling around furiously on the previous two plays against the Houston Texans defense. On a second-and-goal play from the Houston 23, Richardson shook off a would-be sack before turning up the field and looking for a target. Richardson ended up keeping the ball and was ultimately tackled by linebacker Jake Hansen for no gain. Richardson got up slowly and headed to the nearby Colts sideline, tapping his helmet while en route. On the sideline, he immediately took a knee. Quote the second-year quarterback, "I was tired. I ain't going to lie. That was a lot of running right there. I didn't think I was going to be able to go the next play, so I just told Shane I just needed a break right there. I was exhausted." The strange string of events from the story is only to intensify the discourse around Richardson, whose season-long struggles have been a weekly challenge for the Colts to navigate. The fourth pick in the 2023 draft, Richardson has completed 44% of his pass attempts this season after that 10 for 32, 175 yesterday. And Sunday's game was a pivotal AFC South matchup. A win would have given the Colts a share of the division lead with Houston. Instead, became another referendum on Richardson's future with Indianapolis.
I mean, you'd think they were 1-7. It's still a 4-4 team.
But here's the problem.
I mean, they were the way you read that, it was eulogizing the quarterback.
But here's the problem, because perhaps the quarterback, the pressure point, courtesy of Sue Cup Manufacturing, needs to squarely be placed on this young man because he was the fourth overall pick, but he may lack self-awareness. And here's why. He says, quote, same story, ESPN.com, quote, "I feel like I'm a great passer.
I always love that one.
I've been playing quarterback pretty much my whole life. I'm just a different quarterback from everybody else, so people are going to try to point out that I'm not as efficient as everybody else, but that's cool to me."
I always love that one.
Well, you can't be a great passer if everybody's pointing out you're not as efficient as everybody else, unless you're right and the world's wrong.
That 44% number is a little rough.
So there's a little pressure on Anthony Richardson, but also pressure on the Minnesota Vikings and the Minnesota Vikings defense to make sure what is bad gets worse and does not turn its frown upside down. And finally, in passing, Matt Eberflus, somebody of whom I'm fond, met him at Grace Church a couple of years ago for an event called A Rise with the Guys. I like Matt, but he's about ready to catch a stray. Can we get the bow, 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 bow?
Pressure points.
Matt Eberflus permitted a backup center to get a goal line carry at Washington in the fourth quarter of a 5-point game. His team was losing, and the backup center fumbled. Those who hate that decision include the quarterback, every running back on the team, the general manager, the team president, and ownership group. That's a bonus pressure point provided by Sue Cup Manufacturing, because, I mean, you keep making decisions like that, and all of a sudden somebody else is going to be coaching the team when you come out of a bye, or maybe into like one of those mini buys or something like that. Matt Eberflus facing a lot of pressure right now, not because Bears fans are being unrealistic and we got Caleb, we got Adunze, we now have super special Keenan to run with DJ and Sweat, Montez Sweat from last year. Hey, not that everybody was expecting 12, 13 wins, but in a tightly contested game, when you're inside the 5 and you're trying to grab the lead very late in the game, You just absolutely, positively cannot try to hand it off to your backup center. It's not even Olin Kreutz. It's the backup center. Oh. And my man never took the ball. He didn't even look like he knew what he was doing. So everybody in the world hates that decision. Everybody within the covenant who's not going to have the courage to eyeball you and be like, are you kidding me? Kevin Warren, my team president. But that is a point of pressure for old Matthew Eberflus, because on the other side of that, he faced a Maryland Miracle and an L. Here we go.
Pressure Points.
Thank you to Sukup Manufacturing for bringing you Pressure Points. I have a couple of them here, and I'm just going to replay the audio I played at the beginning of the show today or earlier on. KO on Christian Darrisaw.
Was holding out hope last night that maybe the imaging would reveal a less significant injury, but unfortunately that is not the case. He did sustain a significant knee injury to his left knee, and it will require season-ending surgery. He will go on injured reserve.
So we know that. No more Darrisaw for the 2024. That's a crushing injury, and we hope he gets well, and we hope he's back in business in 2025. Life without Darrisaw, as I said, this is where 2 pressure points.
Pressure Points.
This is where 2 become 1 effectively. The trenches on respective sides of the ball for the Minnesota Vikings. On the offensive side of things, whether it's Quesenberry, if it's Rouse at some point, a trade that's made for depth. Big moment for Quesenberry, big moment for this offensive line where Blake Brandel has to step up. There could potentially be formational changes or adjustments made. Are we handcuffing a Josh Oliver to that side? What's that going to look like from a running back pass protection nature? Massive pressure on KO, the offensive line, and everybody involved to get a solid plan moving forward to create stability in the wake of Darrisaw being gone. And then that sends me to the other side of the ball, PA.
Yep.
You mentioned Anthony Richardson, all the pressure on him. I'm putting pressure on this Vikings defensive front here. No Blake Cashman, you better figure that out. Jonathan Taylor's averaging almost 5 a clip on the ground. He's missed 3 games. But if you take his productivity in the 5 he's played and you stretch that out over 8, he'd have the 3rd most rushing yards in the NFL and the most attempts. They're going to run. Richardson can run. He doesn't run like Lamar, fewer attempts a game than Lamar does, but he's going to get loose at times. So containing Richardson, that conversation when we have, whether it's Lamar or Richardson or a generally more mobile-focused type quarterback, containment is going to be a massive thing, but limiting Jonathan Taylor, they're coming at us. They're going to try to be a freight train Sunday night at U.S. Bank Stadium. So pressure on the offensive side with that O-line, pressure on the defensive front to limit their rushing attack, and the Vikings can go 6-2 on Sunday evening.
Thank you, Sukup. Sukup.com, Sukup Manufacturing, SUKUP.com, helping farmers fuel and to feed the world. Back after TCO Tuesday tomorrow. We are going to be at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, joins us at 11 o'clock, and we can't wait for that. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Paul Allen. Here's Nordo to put a wrap on the show.
Big boy's back.
Now, what did I do wrong?
The game is over.
9 to noon, it's always a fun trip. Sometimes you're thinking, did he come from a spaceship off script? Always shooting straight from the lip. Today's obsession, the host is all about the drip. High fashion meets the love handles, odor emanating from those closed-toed sandals. Soon he'll be lighting some 59 candles, rooting for big box scores, Julius Randle. And like a vandal, you could steal these takes. Our favorite team looks like they're stepping on a rake. And in the world of excuses, not many we can make. Take care of the Colts, and we're back to eating cake. Hey, thanks, Blake, for setting this up with Coy. Go beat Bielema down in Illinois. Tomorrow, a weekly show that we truly enjoy. TCO, sit down with KO. Oh, boy.
I love how intense you guys are about your Vikings.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.